Is now the right time to buy Pokemon cards? Hello, I'm Zav, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing the state of Pokemon singles, and whether or not they are worth buying right now. And will the market change in the near future? Let's get right into it. Personally, I have been somewhat distant from the hobby ever since September to October of last year. My motivation to hunt for product in stores and spend a lot of money that I don't have was really weighing me down. I felt like I couldn't find anything, but whenever I did, I would hold on to it. I did this throughout the year, and I now own a sealed collection just to be able to look at product every day. Sad, I know, right? With this reality, I took a step back and realized that I've always been more of a singles enjoyer. So why not spend money on that instead? So I quit forcing myself to buy sealed product and instead sought after singles I wanted for my collection. In the same vein, ever since the beginning of last year, I've treated Pokemon singles like stocks, looking at what to invest in, what to sell, what could I buy for myself, and etc. This past year has been a roller coaster for the market in general, from very high highs in the beginning of the year when everything blew up to dipping down in the summer, then rising up again in autumn, just to then for some reason dip back down in December. It seems like with all of these sets that have been coming out, the market has been trying to regulate itself, but the amount of good sets and really good cards, it's been quite difficult. At this point in the market, it seems like a lot of cards have been going down in price. Cards going as far back as the Sword and Shield era. The market being down right now seems a bit odd to me because the 30th anniversary is literally right around the corner, and the anniversaries like that normally get hyped up. And not to mention, the new mega cards that are going to be coming out look really nice and will most likely be expensive as usual for the first few months. But it seems like a bunch of other cards from recent sets have been correcting. Let's be honest, Pokemon has been making it very difficult to buy sealed product and cards without spending more than what you want. However, I believe right now is a good time to pick up some cards that are trending downward. Here are just 10 cards that I think are going to be good pickups before everything goes crazy again. First up on the list is this Reshiram EX SIR. Now, I know this one is quite expensive, but if we look at the graph, I did say cards that are trending downwards, and this one from White Flare is indeed trending downwards. This is the 1 year graph of when it came out in July of 2025, 14th, it says 14th to 20th, it was around 230 bucks. You know, people are overcharging at that point in the beginning. And then it went down, it did a huge dip to 169, nice, but it went back up to 190, almost 200, almost reached 200, and then look at the drop off. Look at that drop off. It is currently sitting at 145. The Japanese version, I believe it is a little bit less expensive. I think it was like 130 or something like that, but it's still around the range of the English one. And so if you are looking to get this Reshiram EX SIR from White Flare, in English specifically, then I do recommend you get it now before, you know, some card of Reshiram comes up and Reshiram cards go up again. And especially with this art style, this art is incredibly nice, and it wouldn't surprise me if it just started to increase in price out of nowhere. Now, I do have to make a mention, I do not gatekeep. I want everybody to get the best deals. If you do not care about the language of the cards and you're just looking to get the cheapest way possible of getting this specific card, I highly recommend checking eBay. Here is just an example of, you know, I just typed in Reshiram EX SIR and I specifically typed Korean because typically Korean cards are cheaper than the Japanese cards. And it's similar to the Chinese cards. Chinese cards tend to be cheaper as well. But for this specific card, they have it in Korean. And as you can see, it is pretty cheap. And again, it's just a different language. It's the same exact card. So you have one here for 65, which I just might pick this one up. I'm not gonna lie. You have this one for 90, this one for 80 plus $5 delivery for 70. So it seems like the Korean version of this card is around maybe $70, $85 range. You have this one for 85, so whoever snags this, hey, lucky you, for 65 bucks free shipping. However, you have this, for example. You have stuff like this where you have people selling both chase cards of Black Bolt or White Flare or both, and this person over here is selling both SIRs for $155, which that's basically around the same price you would pay for just one English one. Alright, so next up on our list is the Salamence EX. This one's from Journey Together. I absolutely love this card. Salamence is a very dope Pokemon, and bro, the drop off is insane for this card. When it first came out, it was over $100. It was $130. $130 dropped down significantly after what, a month, to just above barely 100. Then it just keeps going down and down, and as y'all can see, the 1 year graph, it just down, and it's currently sitting at basically $60. $59.42, basically $60, basically slashed in half of what it was, you know, when it kind of first came out in a couple months after that. And I just think that it's because of Journey Together not being as popular as Destined Rivals, Black Bolt, White Flare, and some of the other sets that came out during that time last year. Journey Together kind of got swept under the rug, and a lot of people kind of don't even pay attention to it anymore. But there are a lot of cards in Journey Together that are definitely worth getting, that are on the decline now. But for now, I have Salamence as the representative for Journey Together, one of the bigger cards that just dropped pretty far down. And now we have one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, Hydreigon. We have the Hydreigon EX. This one's also from White Flare. Another card from White Flare that has gone down quite a bit. As y'all can see, the graph not looking too good for good old Hydreigon price-wise, but desirability, at least for me personally, it skyrocketed, because look at this downfall. When it came out, it was basically $150. Obviously, you know, when it came out, finally the set, it dropped all the way down to $100. Then it dropped all the way down to like around 76. Then it kind of had a little bit of a spike, went up to almost $100, then just went straight back down. And it is at its all-time low right now at $73, which I think for this card is still a little bit too expensive. I feel like this card, although very good, and again, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, I don't think there are enough people who like Hydreigon enough to actually pay $73 for this specific card, because not many people really, you know, are big fans of Hydreigon, but it's a card that is going down in price. Did find that a Japanese versions, like all the Japanese versions of this card, are really cheap. Like, if y'all don't care, if y'all prefer Japanese cards, if y'all don't care about the language, I highly suggest getting the same card in a different language. It is honestly such a money saver, because look at this. You are saving yourself $40 whole dollars by just buying the Japanese version. Here you have 33 with free shipping, 33. It seems like on eBay, at least, all the Japanese versions are around this price, from around, again, 33 to maybe $40. You got 44, you know. It's so much better to get it in Japanese, to be honest. Don't even, again, if you prefer English, then hey, that's on you, I guess. But personally, I don't play the game, so, and I don't really care about the language. I just care about saving money on some shiny cardboard, you know, that I really love. And hey, it doesn't hurt to save, you know, it doesn't hurt to save money, even if you have to get in a different language. All right, now we're getting into one of the really good ones here. I feel like this card is very underrated. I think it got overshadowed by Misty's Psyduck. That card is definitely, you know, one of the chases for some people. It was for mine, and I pulled it on the, I think it was the very first pack opening of Destined Rivals. I pulled it. Y'all can check out that video. It was honestly amazing. Misty's Lapras, however, I actually got it from a friend of mine who sold it to me. I think I bought it a bit more expensive than this, maybe around more of the $30 range. As y'all can see, this card is from Destined Rivals, one of the better sets of 2025. And this card has gone down. This is just a 3-month look. Look at the 1 year look. The 1 year look, it went from being $75 at launch, went all the way down to $32, kind of plateaued a bit. Then it got raised up to $42, and then just sliced in half. Just absolutely sliced in half, down to $21. It's literally almost 20 bucks. Literally a steal. Like, I believe this, for that price, especially an English version, that is a steal, because there is no way we're going to get another Misty's Lapras card like this. Lapras, a fan favorite Pokemon. Misty, a fan favorite trainer. And especially with this nice, calm, you know, chill type of art style. And, you know, this kind of art style is definitely more appealing and appeasing to the general audience. And I just think that it's just so underrated. I honestly think it's so underrated. I'm glad I have one in my collection. I just might try it and buy at least 1 or 2 more, just to kind of have them in my collection, just to keep them, you know, because honestly, like, I can see this card jumping back up to like $50, maybe within the next year. If not, then I hope it goes down further, because honestly, like, all the card hype, you know, going up in prices and blowing up, it's very overdone at this point. 2025 was the year of everything just going crazy, and, you know, artificial spikes and stuff like that was really hurting the hobby. And so I genuinely hope and pray for a fall off. I hope Pokemon crashes, bro. I really do, because I could care less about the prices. They're just so expensive, because especially if it's a card that I want, you know, and I don't want to try and pull it because it's already so difficult to get sealed product, it's better to just buy the singles. But if the singles are so expensive, it's like I can't even do that, you know what I mean? But again, the same caveat that I've been kind of explaining this entire video so far is go for different languages. If we look at eBay here, the same card that is $20 in English, you can get it in Japanese for 10, for half that price. I imagine, you know, it's going to be a bit better because Japanese cards tend to be a bit better quality wise, and you're getting it for half the price. Again, it's in Japanese, sure, but bro, and here, look, you have a Korean one as well, that is also $10. I think this card is very underrated, and I think that you should pick it up, especially in Japanese. At least in Japanese, save yourself $10 or 11, whatever, and get yourself the Japanese version of this card if you really want it. All right, so this one is a bit of a cheaper one, and the fall off isn't really too harsh, but it is another card from Distant Rivals. It is the Mewtwo EX full art with Giovanni in the back looking all menacingly, and I absolutely love this card. I wish I had this card. I really want it for my collection. And I think I'll be able to get it because look at this. Check this out. Over the entire year, it came out in June. It was around $27. Maybe people were selling it for $30. And it's just gone down. Gone down. $20 went back up and then just dropped significantly. Again, for a full art, it might be a little much, but you have to remember it's Mewtwo and it's Giovanni. And it's both of them on the same card. And so I think like this card is another kind of underrated card. Just because it's not an SIR or, you know, a special card, it's just a full art. I still think, like, again, $15 is pretty steep for a full art, but it's still so underrated because it is a Mewtwo card, and Mewtwo cards tend to go up. If you're a fan of Mewtwo, if you're a fan of Giovanni, if you're a fan of full arts like I am, you know, these are good times to be picking up these cards, especially if you're looking for them in English, which I actually am. I'm trying to collect every single full art card from Destined Rivals and Journey Together, because those are the sets that have the trainer in the background. I already have Giovanni's Persian. I have the Persian one, but I do really want this Mewtwo, and I'm glad that it's going down in price. 15 bucks, a little, almost 16, but still affordable. That I think it's worth the pickup. Okay, so I know this was not much of a fan favorite. The Pokemon isn't really that popular, but we have the Terapagos EX from Stellar Crown. Now, you might be saying, oh, this one is, you know, it went super cheap earlier on, or it was the top chase of Stellar Crown at some point, which it was. I remember this being over $100 at some point. Yeah, it's at $32 right now. It has gone down so significantly over the past year. Literally back a year ago, it was around that $85 range. And over the year, it's just gone down, because nobody really cares for Terapagos that much. It was one of those Pokemon that Pokemon was trying to push the whole stellar stuff, the crown, the whole jewel kind of aesthetic. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. This card is beautiful, and I'm not gonna lie, I would probably get this card because of the aesthetic, but just for the Pokemon itself is not really that popular and not much of a fan favorite. It's probably why it went down so hard. It is currently at $32. And I think, like, again, if you are looking for aesthetically pleasing cards and cards that can just, you know, fill a binder slot that can be kind of like a vibe, this is a great card. I absolutely love the look of this card. It has a lot of the crystals and the gems, and so I think if you have like a binder page of like crystal themed, kind of gem themed, this is an amazing card to pick up, especially because of how far it has fallen off from its peak. This is probably the lowest it's ever going to be. $32, gang, for a top chase. This is an SIR, mind you. And so if we go back to eBay here, you can see that the Japanese version is selling for a bit less. Not so much like half off or anything like that, but it is a bit cheaper, and the quality of Japanese cards, like I said, tend to be a bit better than English cards. So if you are just looking to have this card in your collection, just cuz, and I suggest that you should get the Japanese version. Here we got a low price of $25. You're saving yourself $5-6, which I feel like makes a difference when you're trying to buy Pokemon singles, because with that extra money, you can literally buy 1, 2, maybe even 3 other cards that you want that are fairly cheap, of course, but still cards that you want for your own collection. Okay, next up we have the Marshadow from Mega Evolution. This one, as y'all probably know, did get a artificial spike. And what that means is basically people buying the card a bunch and jacking up the price. And this happened very early on when Mega Evolution came out, just because it has a Pikachu cameo in the front. People just, I guess, saw Pikachu and it's like, yep, jack it up. And as y'all can see from the graph, it went up from being at $40 at debut when it came out, all the way to $92. People selling it for $100 just because of the artificial hype. And then when everybody kind of like saw that it was a big phony baloney hubba-la-blue type of thing, it dropped significantly. And guess what? Now it's at $11. Now it's at $11, $12. It is the lowest it has ever been. We can look at the 3-month span. It's just been going down. Just within the past 3 months, it's gone down quite over $10, which is quite a bit. And I think because it's this low now, I might actually pick it up. Okay, I might actually pick up this card just because it's that low. Also because I think the artwork here is pretty nice. And again, the Pikachu kind of cameo, his head is just down there. I find that pretty funny. And I mean, you never know, this card might try and go up again. And I feel like getting it now, it will be a safe bet and a card definitely worth getting right now. Now we have card number 8, Mega Absol from Mega Evolution. Once again, this card is very, very cool. I feel like there are quite a lot of Absol fans, and I just think it's just the market correction as to why this card kind of went down. Because if you take a look here, yeah, it's dropping pretty hard. At release, it was $94, dropped a little bit, and then just spiked up to $105. So at one point, it was over $100. Mind you, this was just like 3-4 months ago. Then it just significantly dropped to $76. Had a little bit of a going up moment, and then just dropped all the way down to $56. Is it worth for this card? Yes. Okay, I will answer that for you. It is definitely worth $56. I feel like this card itself is worth at least $100, but thankfully the market is correcting itself, and we have cards, amazing cards like this, that are coming down in price. Now obviously we're talking about English cards here. If we were to take a look at the Japanese side though, bam, we got Absol, Mega Absol, the same one in English, for just $27. You're literally saving yourself like 20 whole dollars if you were to buy the Japanese version. We got them listed at $27 here on eBay. Right here, brand new, mint condition, $28, $23 with $5 delivery. Like, it is just such a bargain to buy cards of different languages, because you are able to actually fill up your collection a lot faster, especially if all you care about is the art, and that's me. That's me personally. I just care about the art and the Pokemon, and if it looks good in my collection, in my binder, that's all I care about. I don't care if the card is in French, for crying out loud. Even if it's in German, I don't care, or Indonesian. I will buy it as long as it's my favorite Pokemon and it's cheap. All right, I will try and find the cheapest way possible. And with this Absol card being only $27 compared to the English counterpart at being $56, I think I'm a bet on the Japanese one. All right, so for our 9th card here, we have Piplup, the illustration rare from Phantasmal Flames. Now, this is a very recent set that came out, but as I've been saying, the market has been correcting itself, thank God, because this art right here is so cute. You can probably put this card with really any other kind of themed binder page. It's so nice. A lot of Piplup fans out there, and I feel like Piplup is a fan favorite starter for $11. This is one of those illustration rares I think y'all should snag up now. Like, get it now, especially if you are only collecting English. Now is the perfect time to get this card, because look just 3 months ago, back in November, this card was $25, $28, dropped down a bit afterwards to $15, and then it's kind of just slowly but surely dropped down even further. It was actually at $10 at some point, $10.89 here, like very low, and it went up just a tad bit here at $11, but still such an amazing price for such an amazing looking card. And of course, I don't even have to mention it, but This card is so much cheaper in Japanese. Look at how cute that Piplup still looks in Japanese, and it's $5. It's literally $5-6 for the same exact card. You are still saving like $4 to $5 or $4 to $3 you're saving on buying it in a different language. I'm telling you, I'm trying to put y'all on game. Like, stop worrying about the language. You're not playing the game. You're not in the TCG gaming sphere, gang. You're not in the tournaments, gang. Like, yeah, again, unless you're gonna be playing the actual game, I just don't think there should be a reason, you know, to dislike foreign cards or to, you know, I mean, I guess to each their own. Each person has their own preference. But in this case, for the Piplup, definitely worth a buy for $5, $6, $7, still a little bit cheaper than the English ones. And for our last and final card for today's video, I know this one's kind of a troll pick by me, but we're heading back to Journey Together and we're going to be looking at this Whale Lord illustration rare. I think this is such a cool and just funny card that I think is going to be swept under the rug for a little bit. I think in the future, this card will definitely be sought after. Mainly because, like, we don't really get much Whale Lord. Like, we don't get many Whale Lord cards. And the fact that this one just looks this good and so goofy as well, I think is definitely worth it. It is only $10. Now, if we take a look at the graph here, when it came out, it was $56. Now, obviously, that price doesn't stick and it goes down quite a bit. But it was hanging around that $20 range, around like here, around April 2017. Then it started to go down 13, and then it spiked back up to 21 in August, and then blam, it got shot. It got shot down all the way to $10. If you ask me, this is a great pickup right now. Only $10 for a card like this. Now, again, you might be saying to yourself, hey, I don't really have much money. $10 is still a lot for one piece of, you know, shiny cardboard. And I can agree with you. You know, it is this hobby is definitely more of a luxurious type of hobby. Just a $5 card can be quite a lot for some people because, again, that's $5, $10, $15 like on one card. It is, in hindsight, it is pretty crazy, but I feel like if you're looking from the outside in, you don't really get it. Yeah, you wouldn't really understand because you're just gonna see like, oh, it's just shiny cardboard, it's just little characters. Like, you wouldn't really understand why, or, you know, how this makes sense. How is it worth spending $10 for a card of a gigantic whale? They just wouldn't get it. But those of you who are in the community, y'all understand. Again, for this price, I think is pretty good, and I think is one that y'all should pick up right now. But yeah, this is honestly, I feel like this time is very good to pick up some singles. The market is down at the moment. It has dropped quite a bit on a lot of cards and on a lot of sets. I really suggest that y'all get into TCG Player and just look up, you know, the card that you are looking for, your chase cards, and see if they've gone down in price. Again, y'all can check eBay. Check eBay, please. I beg you. Save your money, bro. Save your money. Save your money. Go to eBay, search up your favorite Pokemon SAR or AR or whatever. You'll get what you're looking for at an affordable price. But yeah, that is the last card of today's video. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope y'all enjoyed this more informative type of video. I just wanted to put y'all on game. I did not want to gatekeep because now is the time to buy. Everything is pretty low at the moment. Even some chase cards are pretty low, and I cannot hammer home enough how much I suggest buying foreign cards. I know I've said it multiple times already in the video. If you're here for the pure joy of collecting, then language should not be a problem or an obstacle for you. But nonetheless, I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all want more videos like this, you know, where I give you some information, I guess, hey, leave a comment down below, leave a like. That will greatly help out the video. If you have any suggestions, any cards that you guys find that are on the low, hey, make sure to put it down in the comments. Let's help out everybody else in the community, and, you know, get people to know about this, because I feel like a lot of people have left the hobby because it's been so expensive, especially for sealed product. And again, I feel like singles are better than just buying sealed. Buying sealed is like, yeah, for the fun of it, ripping it, and it's almost like gambling, you know. You get the thrill, but I just think from a collector standpoint, singles are the way to go. I have have kind of completely stopped buying a sealed product. Don't really think I'm going to be buying much of it, so I'm not really sure how many openings y'all are gonna see throughout the year. Probably less than last year for sure. Obviously, I'll still be bringing y'all some openings soon, and if you haven't already, make sure to ring that notification bell to make sure to get notified whenever I upload a video. And also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you all for the support, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.